So I'm reading from Matthew 2, 1 to 12. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was to be born. "In Bethlehem, in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to their country by another route. The wise men are familiar characters from nativity scenes, claymation Christmas specials featuring a little drummer boy, and Christmas carols. They are often presented as kings, which is due to legends that came about hundreds of years after Jesus' birth. This is not the case, though. Instead, they were astrologers, practitioners of magic. These were pagans, Gentiles who undoubtedly worshipped other gods, who looked to the stars for direction, not to Yahweh, the one true God. In the very clear boundaries of who was clean and unclean in the ancient Jewish world, there would be very few who would be considered less religiously clean in Israel, and yet God values them enough to send them a sign in the way that they would understand that Jesus had been born. They were unclean foreigners who were different from Mary and Joseph, had a different worldview, a different faith, and different values, and yet God invites and welcomes them. Mary and Joseph are not suspect of them. They do not question their motives. They do not look down on them, but instead they receive them. At Advent, we celebrate Jesus as the one who receives the foreigner, the stranger, the one not like us, by sending a star to announce his birth, calling them to himself in a way that they would understand. Pray with me on the prayer on the screen. Jesus, just as you welcome and honor the foreigner and the stranger, help us to see, welcome, and honor the foreigner and stranger among us. As we welcome the foreigner and stranger among us, help us to see that we welcome you. Amen.